Hi there. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Chris Moore and I'm the Program Leader for the undergraduate degree in Biomedical Science at UWE. And this is going to be a quickfire showcase on how we can possibly utilize and leverage SharePoint sites across the institution to better coordinate, communicate, share, and collaborate our communications. A lot of C's in that. So let's jump in, show you how easy it can be. So what I'm using here as the platform is my More from the Digital Desk. This is my own SharePoint site within the institution. It's key to my account. I personally use a Microsoft team for the program aspects of biomedical science. The teaching and content is still delivered in Blackboard in modules. But the Microsoft team provides the community for my students to have quick messages sent to them, quick announcements and discussions and questions from them. The SharePoint site forms the information page that links out to various services and web pages, tools, videos, and also brings in news. And it's where I share news posts and longer briefs and messages, as well as events. What I use my More from the Digital Desk for is to basically do my various blogs. It's really the only way I've got of showing some of the things that I'm working on in the background that actually have nothing to do with my main job. If you go to ueacuk.sharepoint.com, you should then be greeted with your space. And within this, sites that you follow or are part of, and this normally includes any Microsoft team that you've been added to, will be within that. You then have various sites of things that you may have made, sites that you might follow specifically, a bit like subscribing to a news website. And within this, you can access a lot of different places. You can also see my news. And in this case, it's pulling in any news that I might be interested in that's recommended to me. Now, because there aren't many SharePoint sites out there, most of the news it's recommending to me is stuff that I've actually written. And then down at the bottom here, I could create a news post, a page, or a SharePoint site. So mine is More from the Digital Desk. And what I do is write my little blogs and things here. What I want to show you here is how we can pull in news from other areas. Now, one way you can do this is by creating the articles yourself, news posts. So each of these are news posts, with the exception that this one down here is actually a blog I wrote on my external website. And here I did it as a news link. That news link meant that I could do the URL and it pulled it in as a little thumbnail. And if I go to it, it will jump me out to that external website. And so I didn't need to copy over the blog. I was able to just link directly to it. And of course, this can be useful by doing, again, this news link for things like professional accrediting bodies, BBC News sites, journal websites you might want students to see that are external. So, for example, my course Biomedical Science is accredited by the IBMS. Therefore, instead of me copying over content from their website that I think students might like to know, I have both a menu item up here on my Biomedical Science site, as well as a news link to various pages within theirs that I want to draw students' attention to. The internal way that we can do this is by changing how this news hub looks. So I'm going to click edit here, and I'm now editing my site. Only I can do this, but I can add any kind of item I want by floating around here and add a new web part. I could add an embedded video. I could do a YouTube video link, embed a file, write one of my blogs, anything like that. What I'm going to do here, though, is edit my pre-existing news hub, which would be this if I were to make it from scratch. So here we click on the news hub and I can edit the web part, or I can change the way that it looks. We'll briefly do side by side, hub news, carousel. There's a whole range of ways that you can have the news visualized on your site. I'm going to do edit the web part. Now, this is bringing in any page that I've written from this site. If I were to tick this box, it changes and toggles what's available. If I do select sites, I can then choose sites that I follow, or I can search for them here. So for example, if I wanted to bring in some information from my student-facing site, I can tick this box and it will change which news stories it directs people to. You can also have it entirely personalized. So the person logged in, depending on the kinds of files that they access, the sites that they visit, it will pull in news that might be of interest to them. And this is how we can go about changing how we share information with people. If I've got the library emails me with, here are some workshops we're running, or here is a workbook, can you please disseminate this to your students? Now that's an email, probably with a PDF attachment or a PowerPoint, that I could put on Blackboard or email to students. But imagine if the library just made that page anyway within their own SharePoint site, and then all I did was choose for that site to be pulled in terms of its news, to my student-facing site. I could also filter it so that you type the kinds of words that you want to include so that it pulls information in. You can add multiple filters for as many times as you like. Now, the beauty of this is that if you want to make sure that certain stories surface, so if you want your students to see everything going on with digital, use that as a keyword, and any news post written in the university that has digital in its title as that article and that is widely shared with other people would be automatically pulled in. Now, of course, the safe thing here is that people who have got their own websites, such as mine, this is not shared with the entire university. This is only shared with all staff users. Students can't see what I put here. So that makes our information secure and safe so that only those that we want to can see it. But that's a video for another time. So for now, tinker with the idea of building your own SharePoint site, looking for other sites around the university, and see if you can pull in different news stories in order to populate your own webpage to learn more about how we can pull in relevant news for our spaces rather than endlessly put up different emails for different people to different places. Let's try and make everything publish once, publish everywhere, and get it to those that need it or want it. Unless, let's put everything everywhere at all times for everyone, whether they want it, and ask them to do things, and quadrupling our workload. Hope you found that useful. See you next time.